So it's having a huge impact on all the community of Flower Mound, and always based on which direction the wind is blowing. So the people in Flower Mound have a lot of issues, and we demonstrated that the chemicals are in the air associated with this location. What units on the location we haven't been able to detect, and of course we couldn't get in the gate, but when we got right up to the gate, it was just horrendous. Next, please. So when you looked at the chemicals that we detected in Flower Mound, and I put together health impact, these were the health impacts: acute, irritating skin, eyes, nose, mouth, headaches, dizziness, lightheadedness, nausea, vomiting, and I should have added, you could hardly catch your breath when you were standing at the location where we took the sample. These are acute, short term. Next is the chronic: anemia, cancer, leukemia, possible teratogen, which is malformations. These are the health impacts of the chemicals we collected in a canister near Williams in Flower Mound. So yes, there's a need to do a lot more evaluation of what is going on in Flower Mound and how far out. But remember, at 5 miles, we were still picking up 4 parts per million of methane. And we would have picked up the same chemicals if we'd have popped a canister that far. Next. So then we did a sample in Fort Worth. And this is the first time that this data has been released. So these are the chemicals that were detected in the canister in Fort Worth. And it was along Cleveland Gibbs Road. Benzene, known human cancer-causing agent. Chloroethane, dichloro, toluene, xylene, tentatively identified compounds. And the hydrocarbon, the methane, 56.2, much higher than what we found in Flower Mound, much higher. Now the tentatively identified compounds are, you do a library search, you run a mass spec with the sample, and then you have a whole bunch of peaks that don't come up because you didn't tag them, and then you do a library search. When the blood and the urine of the people in DISH were analyzed by the health agency, we asked before the sampling was done, not only to do the volatiles, but also do the tentatively identified chemicals. And I think they told Calvin, they do the gold standard, and that doesn't include the tentatively identified compounds. And all it is a computer search. It doesn't take any more effort to do that. But it's very important because a lot of the chemicals you will find in the tentatively identified list. So in the next slide, you'll see what the methane monitor, or the acute impacts of these. Again, this is in Fort Worth, on Gibbs. Skin, eye, nose, mouth, and throat irritation, headaches, dizziness, lightheadedness, nausea, vomiting. And the chronics on the next one, please. Anemia, cancer, leukemia, possible teratogen, damage to the developing fetus, damage to the liver, and damage to the kidneys. Next, please. So, health impacts are prevalent in this area. Health impacts associated with the chemicals that we know are present in the air. And after the health agency did the sampling in DISH, we started finding out they're in the water in DISH and in a number of other locations that have been sampled. So the chemicals correlate to the health impacts. The health impacts have been recorded by the community members. So the health issues here are really an issue of concern. And in your community, you need to start documenting them. You need to continue to call TCEQ when you have an emission or a leak or a concern. You need to be sure and request that data. And if you want to send that data to me, you want to send it to Calvin, we'll give you back a little explanation so you'll have some idea. But this is something that's critical. If we're going to have drilling, if we're going to have production, it needs to be done safely and cleanly and not impact the health of the community members as well as the environment. Thank you.
that we could. You want to do a question now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, that would be good. Okay. Do you want to do that? You want to?
Yeah, why don't you let me? We want to thank first. We're going to do question and answer, but Barack, one of our members, Barack Sanjay from Arlington, has a fabulous wholesale international flower company. That's where we got all these gorgeous flowers donated, and we want to thank you so very much. That is just beautiful. Thank you. And what we're going to do, we're going to have question and answer. Will you assist her? Thank you. If you need a form, we've got some folks there that will get those to you for the questions if you want to write it down, and then we have some mics set up here. But before we do the Q&A,
Bring up the lights.
Oh, yes, on the back side here, I'm sorry.
Before we do the question and answer, while you're getting those forms, if you don't think this can happen or it's already happening to folks in the Metroplex, in the Barnett Shale, the sad thing is that it's already happened to people. Calvin described what was going on with his family. And we have someone here tonight, and we've been waiting for months to share her story, and we felt this was the perfect opportunity, since Wilma was here, to explain to you what these chemicals can do. And I'd like